All right, and we're live. I say we. As you can see, English Dan Reviews is his computer sitting right there vacant right now because he had to go find his hat because he doesn't want all of y'all to see his ugly face and his.
Wait a minute, having a hat on has nothing to do with my face, you bellend. All right,
I was finishing
my
the
hair.
I said your ugly face and your mostly lack of hair.
It's all right. At least I don't pretend I've still got hair.
I don't do anything with it.
Oh yeah, you're holding on to that little half.
It's gonna go when it goes.
Yeah,
it's gonna go when it goes. One day.
Whatever.
Yeah, so I'm a little irritated. So I'm having to use my MacBook Pro tonight because I told you I had to send that stupid Panasonic camera back.
Yes. So
I was gonna plug in the Fujifilm camera to use it, but I forgot that I didn't charge all the way the other day, and I don't know how long it'll last. So I'm gonna be like 30 minutes into the stream and then have to shut off and move to the other computer.
I mean, obviously that's the MacBook Pro's fault, right?
No, the MacBook Pro's fault was I was sitting here and it decided it wanted to do an update and then deregister all my stuff with Chrome. So I had to wait for StreamYard to send me another link to my email, which was taking forever.
You sound like somebody else I know. Always having issues.
Not okay. All right. Hey, well, I got a couple people here already. So we got Holiday Evolution, Darren Anderson, Everyday Tech, Christian Geraldo, CJ, Has Sam. Man, tons of here.
CJ Sullivan, Christian Geraldo.
Anyway, either of you guys got the AirPods Max? No, I don't have them here.
That's no.
I am genuinely intrigued by them, but like I'm not that big of an audio guy. Like I cover audio stuff, but I'm not so deep in the audio woods that I have to go get them for my channel. So I wanted to see kind of what the reception was once they got out on the market before I went and spent money on them. And I'm glad that I did because most people are saying that they're not as good as the $300.
$279 over the holidays they've been, and they sound better than the double priced. I said that.
So basically everybody I've seen has said like the Sony XM4s and maybe even the XM3s sound better, and they're like $300 cheaper. So if you want them, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I don't fault people for wanting things. I mean, if money were not an issue, I would buy them. I mean, I think they look neat. I want to try them out. But as far as being worth a $550 audio experience, from what I'm seeing, it doesn't sound like it's quite there.
Especially if you use them wired. And I believe they don't come with the wire. You have to buy the wire separately.
So they don't. And I was actually...
It's not even braided, the cable. It's $35 piece of plastic. It's like, really? And then you also get lag. So if you were using them for like Final Cut Pro to try and match up your audio, you're going to get delay.
And
that's in studio.
You can't even like use a third-party cable from what I think I was reading. I think you have to use the Apple one. I saw a tweet earlier from a guy named I Am Patrick, and he was talking about how he tried some other Apple like Lightning 3.5. Oh, I don't know. I don't follow him. He just showed up on my thing because somebody else was talking about him. So I was looking at it, and apparently, like just the regular Lightning 3.5 like won't work. You have to use whatever this new, and I think so anyway. You have to use this new cable, which is ridiculous.
$35 as well.
And no power button. So that's actually something interesting. To turn these off, you have to put them back in the case. So if you don't have the case, they just don't turn off.
And they're not exactly battery beasts either. I mean, what is it? A max of 20 hours using them at 50% at some or another with this. Yeah, I read it out last week. It was like you had to stand on one leg while rub your head and tap your forehead, then have a drink of milk, and then you might get 20 hours out of it. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this right here. I wouldn't carry a purse or
a bra. Adam would because he shops at Victor's Secrets. So
I have
I know it's quite a nice t-shirt there tonight. What's going on? Where's the Under Armour that you wear for about 9 days in a row?
It's not that it's 9 days in a row. I just have 9 of the same shirt.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. That's what they all say. That's what the guys who wear the same boxer shorts every day say. Oh, no, I've got 12 pairs of exactly the same color. Oh, really? Is that why you got flies hanging around your butthole?
You do spend a lot of time looking at men's trousers. I'll give you that.
Hey, I have to. Can't help packing what I do. I look at people and I'm like, poor boy.
Oh goodness. Yeah, so I had normally I took off the white T-shirt earlier because I don't do that on stream. But my black T-shirt that I was going to wear is in the dryer getting de-wrinkled because it got washed like 2 days ago and just sat in a basket. So I was like, well, this is how we're going tonight. But yeah, there's just so many things wrong with the AirPods Max that those things should, if they came in at $399, just look, call the extra $50 to $100 the Apple tax. I mean, $559 or $550, I just don't see.
I can't say it on here. I'll probably save it for Friday night.
You can say it with nice words.
I can't.
What does that have to do with
them being a dumpster fire?
Oh yeah, I mean,
when you've got a reviewer, right, who's got over 100,000 subs, and he reviews audio, and he's a really good guy, and he gets rid of them in 24 hours.
That's very telling. I mean, I don't know if you made that observation on your own, but I said that to you earlier when we were talking, and like, yeah, that would be like if I were an Apple reviewer and got the iPhone and in like 18 hours had it up for sale. That's very telling to me. So, look, I can't say whether they're good or bad because I have not listened to them personally to form my own opinion. But the circumstances and the impressions I'm getting surrounding them is very bleak.
The noise canceling is meant to be very good.
I did say that. So my buddy Mark's Tech, he got a pair of them, and he said he was driving on the driving on the highway with the window down with the active noise cancellation on, and said he couldn't hear the wind. Huh?
Driving your car with a set of headphones on.
He said, yeah, whatever. So he rolled the window down to see how it worked with the active noise cancellation. And he's like, oh, I couldn't hear the wind. I'm like, well, I mean, I guess that's good, even though it's illegal to drive with headphones on, but whatever.
Yeah. Cans, not just earbuds, but full-blown cans.
I guess the only thing is like right now, though, they do look like earmuffs. I mean, they do. I've seen a couple people wearing them because there's a blizzard in the Northeast right now. So
ugly. I don't see anything nice about them whatsoever. I don't even think they look like an Apple device. Huh?
I like that volume knob.
I just don't. To me, they look like something I'd buy from Wish.
They definitely look different. They have like a little bit of a retro look to them, and the rest of them look like designer headphones you would wear to the firing range.
If you want to do a retro look, go and buy the Sennheisers. They do retro. They do the retro properly with the ivory headphones, and not like them. They are, and they're not the only ones that look like that. I think Marshall brought out a set that looked like that. And
that's not something Marshall would do.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it is. And there's a couple of companies that have done that style. There's nothing new about it whatsoever.
Well, the price. Nobody's ever charged $550 for it before.
Yeah, $550. Yeah,
you get to see Tim Cook get up there. The most expensive headphones we've ever made. The best headphones we've ever made. Like, well, Tim, they're the only ones.
People are saying they sound worse than the AirPod Pro. So
I don't know. I want to listen to them so I can hear them myself, but I'm not going to go.
I know for a fact I'll put them on and it'll be just a flat EQ, and that's what it is, flat EQ, and that's when you get your Apple nerds who are suddenly audio experts coming and saying that's studio sound quality. That's the way it's meant to be. Everything. Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about, and I don't care if I've upset you. Suck it. Anyway.
My screen is black. Is there video? Yes, there's video.
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess we probably, I don't know, we're going to do a show next week with Christmas and everything going on?
I don't know, whatever. I mean,
I don't have anything going on.
It's Thursday, so Wednesday, I suppose Wednesday's just a regular day.
Yeah, I guess so. So I saw earlier on the Twitters that you posted about that new phone that you got. What's the name of that brand again? Is it like Infinix or something?
Yeah, Infinix. This is the Infinix Zero 8. It's a $45 phone off the top of my head. It has the MediaTek GT90, if that's the correct.
G90T. Yeah, that's the same one. Same one that's in that blue G90 Pro.
Yeah, and it's surprisingly quick. 8 gig of RAM. 128 gig of storage. 90 hertz refresh rate screen. Side-mounted fingerprint sensor. 64 megapixel camera on the back, 48 on the front, kind of dumpster fire, but what you expect at that price.
It's funny to me that a trend with these cheaper phones. It's like the lesser the prices on the phone, the higher the megapixels they try to shove on there. So they try to use that as an advanced selling feature.
Although
I wouldn't really use yourself as an example for
that was the selfie camera. I mean, it's not horrendous by any means for the detail or anything, but you know, for the money, it's so far so good.
It's an LCD screen,
huh?
LCD,
yeah, LCD, 1080p, 90 hertz. I mean, it doesn't have wireless charging.
It reminds me, it's like the reverse side of the punch-out camera that the S10 Plus had. You know how it had that big one on the right side?
The P40, I think. The Huawei P40 does it like this with the big pill on the other side. So, I mean, it's a great-looking phone. I think even though it's a plastic back,
it come with a case and a screen protector or anything?
It comes with a case, the usual clear case, and it comes bloated, like really bloated. But you can change the launcher, so which I will be doing. But it is plenty fast enough. I mean, it's not like it's a slow phone or anything. It's plenty quick enough. So.
This piece of trash trying to look at me without a shirt on.
Real. He is a real piece of trash, Adam. All right.
I need to get merch made one day. Just get a shirt.
Real piece of trash. English the Exynos chip will beat the Snapdragon 88. The 2000 series chip, I don't know. Is that the one that's been made in conjunction with AMD, or is that the next one?
I don't know. I know that people are saying a lot of really good things about this upcoming Snapdragon, but I don't think it's going to be. I still don't think it's going to be better than the 888. The 888 looks really good on paper.
The Exynos, I don't know. I mean, because the Exynos used to be really good. So
it was.
If they've doubled down, and it's funny that they've gone to 2000, so they totally get away from what that series was before. Who knows? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I've not really read into that 888. Why they've gone to 888?
Because it's like a Chinese lucky number thing. It's just one of those things where it's like, you ever seen like the 888 bistros and everything? 888 is just like a common. It means like good luck or something like that.
Really? Never knew that. Yeah. Couldn't tell you.
That's what I was reading anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Do I think it will? No, I have high hopes for it. I think you might get better battery life out of the Exynos than you do.
I hope so. Like the Snapdragon 865, I thought was such a complete chip. Like I thought it was good. Like the 855 Plus was better than the 855, but I felt like the 865 was really solid. And I mean, it was a really big performance boost too because it's 20% power in GPU over the 855. So, you know. I thought that was good, and then they came with the 865 Plus, which, yeah, I mean, it's a tank. It's super powerful, but it seems to me terrible with
actually drink the battery.
Yeah, it can't help itself. It just keeps guzzling the battery up. So I don't know. I like the power that's on tap available with it, but it just not when I get 4 hours of screen on time with my $1,500 phone.
Yeah, and Farm and Tech back in the Galaxy Note 5 days and the Note 4. The Exynos was the version to have. The Snapdragon paled in comparison, and it was like almost as like a 180 from what you got with the last set of phones. That the Exynos between them.
The Snapdragon was not impressive until the 821, and then it got better with the 835. The 835 was really good, and that's when they see the S6. So the Snapdragon. The Samsung Galaxy S6 had an Exynos chipset here in the US in it because they passed over the Qualcomm because it was having heating issues.
Yep.
Which is, I think it was the 808 or the 810, which was a dumpster fire. They put it in the LG G Flex 2, and that sucker was miserable.
And they brought out version 2 of it and put it in one of the Pixels.
Yeah, so then the 820 was in the S7, and then the Pixel came with the 821, and then they came out with the Samsung Galaxy S8, and it had the 835, which was like the first final like amazing legitimate 8 series Snapdragon.
It was I think it was the Nexus 10. The Nexus 6P had the 810 version too. They had to suddenly, and I remember reading about it. That 810 it was to do with the high performance and high efficiency cores, and the higher performance were next to each other causing overheating. So the version 2, they spread them apart.
Yeah, the 808 and the 810 had terrible heating issues. The 808 was in the BlackBerry Priv, and I don't know if you ever got a chance to use one of those, but it is notorious for being super hot, and the problem was with the heat, it couldn't dissipate it properly, so then it would start affecting performance, and then it would just eat up the battery. So the 808 and the 810 were doomed as far as those processors. So like it was really surprising to me then that Samsung went ahead and punted on it. And thankfully, they had their Exynos chipset, because had Samsung launched with that chipset, I think it would have been detrimental to Android. Like, it would have really crushed Android that year, because that was a big deal.
Yeah, the 821 was a good chipset. It really was. The 821 was a big step. They had to get that right after the 810 and the 810.2.
Well, the 820 is actually what killed the LG phones. That's where they finally started falling behind, because the G5 was fine. The G6, so the G6 ended up with the 821 in it because they couldn't get their hands on the 835, because that was the first time Samsung went in and used part of their manufacturing capacity to help produce the 835. So they got a proprietary launch on it. So nobody else could launch with the 835 until the Galaxy S8 did. So that left LG hanging out in the wind, and they had to launch their phone with the 821 in the first quarter of, 2017? And so that put them behind the 8 ball, and they had to wait for their next phone to come out, which was the G7. But by then, I think the V35 or the V40 got it. But either way, it was really bad for them. So Samsung, they got it, and then then other people were able to use it. But that's what put things behind. S8 was very good, very, very good phone. The Samsung Galaxy S8 was the first one that finally made me take the S line seriously. Like, I had used the Notes prior to that, like the Note 4, the Note 5, and I went ahead and I got the S8, and I love that orchid gray color too.
Yeah, the S6 sold me on it. Excuse me, the S6 Plus? Wow, why am I going?
That was good. I like the S6 and the S6 Plus. I hated TouchWiz, and finally the S8 is when they got rid of TouchWiz and moved on to the new UI. So the S8 was like, finally, okay, I'll use Android now as a primary phone.
Yeah, I was okay. You didn't go on Twitter like in the last half an hour, did you?
Probably not. Let me say, to the supporter here, hey, thanks for showing up. Why? What's on Twitter?
Nothing.
Is it something you posted that I need to see?
Just saying, just saying.
Not eating from my daughter's birthday, prick.
Oh,
he won't even see this, which makes it funny. I haven't seen it. I'll have to watch it later.
Yes.
It's gonna be even funnier when I report you and you can't use your account for 3 days.
I don't care. Hey, I'm used to being reported and banned. I mean, really? Like, come on.
Oh, goodness, man.
Yes, how are you?
I can't even believe that it's so close to the end of the year. I was looking at it earlier. I was talking to my wife at dinner. Like, I have 5 working days left. Like, that's it.
Yeah, you're done then, right? That's it. You're a full-time YouTuber.
Yeah, not by choice. I mean, I guess I could have looked for another job somewhere else. But the thing is, I have not, because they're still, they could come through and find more money for my position. But I don't know. I'm gonna give this a whirl for the first quarter of 2021 and see how it goes.
You could always be a Walmart greeter, man, with your skills and speech. You're good at that.
Yeah. Somewhere where they'd pay me to talk. I'm good at that.
Paint specialist at Ace Hardware. You'd be all right. You'd be okay.
You can't sit there and talk to people too long, though, because the line will back up.
That's true, but they have old people in there. So in Ace Hardware especially, you'll get 25 minutes instead of 15 or 10 to talk to them. So you be...
I think I'm in a bus driver. I used to have a license in the military to drive 44-passenger buses.
I could only imagine the torture that went through them people. I could just see you looking in the mirror saying, "Oh yeah, and by the way, my bacon this morning was cooked this way," and you wouldn't believe it when I bit into it how magical it was, and everyone sat there like, "What is this guy talking about?"
Yeah, that Costco would be good. I could be the guy that sits there at the door when people try to come in with no card. Like, no, members only, sir.
That's right. I'm ex-military. Don't push me. That's exactly what you could be like. I take my job serious.
I'll put that on my resume. With a crayon, military, big letters.
Spell it how it sounds.
So it looks like Xiaomi is going to be the first company to get this new 888 processor in it, and I'm really hoping I can get my hands on one.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Is it the new Mi? The new Mi?
Yeah, the new Mi 11. It's supposed to be out by the end of December. It's supposed to be out before January. I'm trying to get my hands on one. I don't know if I'm going to. It's difficult because like Xiaomi, they seem to like the videos that I've done. So they've been happy enough to send me 3 different phones. They did tell me no on the Mi 10 Ultra. They said, we just don't have any for that market because that's the problem. They don't market their phones in the US. So I'm not on a priority to get one of those phones. So I'm hoping I can get one of the Mi 11s. Really excited about that. But then we've got the Samsung phone coming out in January with an announcement.
I find strange that if the Mi 11 beats the Samsung, I kind of think that the Samsung is earlier just so it can say it's the first because it always is. The S line is always the first to have the newest Snapdragon. Always.
I'm really, I don't want to say I'm concerned, but I think that probably in the next 2 years, it wouldn't surprise me if Xiaomi tried to push into the US, and they make such good phones.
Why they haven't done already, I do not know. I mean, there is a glaring big gap right now for them to come in here at $500. $500, what they could release at $500 over here.
Oh yeah, smash these other phones over the head.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying here. Farm and tech.
Man, Farm and tech. Did you see his unboxing? I mean, he didn't even speak. He just sort of shook the box with one hand because he was holding the phone with the other. It was like, yeah. And then picked up. And that was it. Gone.
At least he didn't just drop it on the countertop like a grilled cheese sandwich. Just pop it off.
That's exactly what it reminded me of, like a Sloppy Joe or something like that.
I'm sure he's got a lot of finesse working at Walgreens.
That's right.
Oh, goodness. So, I am curious about this. Like, Samsung usually unveils their phones in like February, March timeframe. So for them to bump it up to January, like I think we're looking around like a January 21st announcement or something like that.
Yeah, remember the last time they rushed something out and brought it forward about a month, 2 months earlier than it should have been?
Yeah, that didn't go well.
Holy smokes.
Unintended. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm sure that it's fine. I just don't. I don't understand trying to bring it out then. So it's like, what's the rush? I mean, people are still trying to recover from the holidays for Pete's sake.
There's an iPhone coming out that's going to stop it or anything. It's already there. It's done.
There's nothing to compete with there. So like, I don't understand why they're pushing it, and they're just going to cannibalize their Note sales because the Note just came out and
I think I wouldn't be shocked if the Note series was removed from sale.
Well, I don't think it's going to. I don't.
Ben, what's the point?
Well, it's still not going to have a spot to put the S Pen in it. So I mean, it's just going to be able to use the S Pen.
I don't know about that.
From everything that I've seen and I've heard,
no, I agree that it's not going to have somewhere to put it, but I just don't.
I don't know. It's too soon in the development cycle. I mean, it's not the development cycle. It's too soon in the release cycle for them to just outright get rid of the Note. That to me doesn't make any sense. Maybe the Note 20 because the Note 20 sucks. But
Farm and tech, the Note 20 sucks.
It does. So looking at later on in the year, though, I mean, I think that people are saying that the Note 21, or what they're going to call it, is supposedly going to be the last of the Notes.
I thought this was the last of the Notes, and this is where it makes sense to me. So if they're bringing out the S21 series with the S Pen, and they're bringing it forward, that means they're going to try and get out before Apple with all the folds. And there you do Note lines.
The only thing I could think of is maybe they're not going to make another Note, and they're trying to bridge the gap with the S line. So here's what I think. And if I were a guessing person, now of course I am, but when it comes to this, typically the Note, typically the S comes out in March-ish, not January. The Note comes out in like September timeframe. So if you squish that together, go ahead and push this out early. You're going to give it S Pen support. Maybe this is going to be the test bed for it. See how well it's received, and then if it doesn't work well, because it's 8 to 10 months to develop a phone, we could see just having the S line come out in January and then just no new Note. But I don't think they're going to get completely rid of it. The Note name carries too much. Like, the Note name is big. Like, nobody calls them the Galaxy S phones.
Well, they're not anymore. That's the thing. The S lines took over from where the Note is, and the line between them both now is so blurred.
It is.
The Note 20 this year was the Galaxy S20 Ultra, slightly refined.
Well, that's how the Note 10 was last year. I mean,
exactly.
It's been like that for a while.
It's totally different now from what it used to be. A Note used to be your powerhouse device. Now they're just...
They're really not. Well, there's nothing to... I mean, they've pushed the envelope so far. You're fighting over such small margins. There's not really much difference.
Nope.
You would have usually better video. They would have better, like, more refined cameras. They would have bigger batteries, bigger screens. But then they made the S line exactly the same, except one has a square housing and one has a round housing, and you can put the S Pen in it. My guess is that they will still have some version. I think what they'll do is when it comes to the S line, they'll have like the S21, and then they'll have the S21 like Note edition, which will come with the stylus.
Yeah, maybe, but that'd get rid of the actual Note, though. It'd still be an S.
Yeah. That makes more sense to me. I mean, because not everybody wants to spend $2,000. I mean, of course, the price will come down eventually, but
this year, supposedly, we're getting a Fold SE. FE, a Fold FM edition.
I've heard mixed things about that, but I don't think that they're going to completely get rid of the Note. I think they're just going to merge it, and it'll be like you can get the S21 or you get the S21 Note edition, and it'll come with the stylus or something. And maybe even it won't have the slot, but I think that they'll probably play with it that way somehow.
We'll find out very soon. I know one thing. Did you see the very first press render that Evan Blass shown today?
I haven't seen the one today. I saw some of the ones that Max Weinbach was putting out a couple days ago.
So those ones where they were going on how there's no bezel or anything like that?
Yeah. Fake.
It looks like the S20 FE from the front. There is bezel all the way around it. All these people going on, it's the smallest bezels ever on a phone.
Who cares? I mean, when's the last time?
Who cares? But when people have been riding it, like, let me just try and find this picture.
This is where we get into that territory where we talk about how leaks are bad. Like you get all the stuff that puts out, and one, you get conflicting information, and then two, it ruins the entire surprise before the phone even comes out. But it's even worse when you get conflicting leaks where one's like, oh, this, and they're saying this, and then the other one's like, well, that, and they're saying that. I think that causes damage to people's perception of what the phone's going to be, and then it can be either one, surprising, or two, disappointing. But I liked it kind of better in the days where you would like get a couple of leaked pictures and like, all right, it passed through the FCC, so we know it's coming soon. And now it's like, here's everything 3 months before it comes out.
So, oh God, I hate that website. Go away. I'm not even showing that place.
The welfare note. Hey, look, Farm and Tech. It's not the welfare note. The sucker still costs $1,000. Yeah. It just sucks.
It's the idiot note. Because only idiots buy them.
Maybe that's why he doesn't work at Walgreens.
That's right. So here you go. This is the S21 with no bezels and smaller camera hole.
Well, can't wait for the 10 seconds for this to focus.
Yeah, punk.
It looks just like the S20 FE. If somebody took the S20 FE and changed the background, like they could call that the S21.
Yes, I agree.
I wonder though, if they're going that route, if that means they're going to lower the price. Like
that was my thought on that. Maybe that is an S21 FE. Maybe that thing there they're showing is the low cost version. Maybe they're going to bring an FE out with the rest of the phones, and it'll be $699. Who knows?
Yeah, and this is part of the conversation there. When they say things are going to be on there or not going to be on there, it leaves the confusion and it pisses people off. Just like with the iPhone for the longest time, they're like, oh, it's going to have a pro display on it, a pro motion display. And then like 6 weeks, 5 weeks beforehand, they're like, nope, ain't happening.
Mm-hmm. The LG Rainbow, yeah, the scroll phone, like Oppo's. Have you seen that yet, Adam?
Yeah, I really like that. I think it looks nice. Yeah. I need to find a way to talk to Oppo.
You need to talk to LG because that Rainbow that's coming out looks fantastic.
Hopefully, at this rate, I'll get it before the Wing.
Yeah.
Maybe get the Wing and the Rainbow at the same time.
Well, that's the thing. Let me just tell you all, people, that we do actually have an LG Wing waiting for us in customs.
Yeah, I don't know all the specifics on it, but apparently that's, I don't know whether that's something we can talk about or not. But their big shipment is just taking forever to get to the States. So
yeah,
I think LG is going to have a big year. I'm really holding off. I think like I think that the Velvet was kind of a stopgap, like trying to reemerge into the mid-tier market, but also at the same time buy themselves some time. Mm-hmm. And that's why you look at the Wing, you look at the Velvet, they're all based on that 765 chipset. It's basically the same phone.
And the Velvet has got Android 11 coming out for it right now.
Yeah, I was really surprised. That's a big sign right there to be like, wow, they're actually doubling down on software. Hey, Zach, thanks for stopping by.
Yep. Yeah, so I saw that.
I see what you did there, awesome possum. Yeah, so anyway, that's a reference to, I made a comment in my last video for the BlackBerry that I'm on the priority list for OnMore Mobility's media list to get information sent out. And I had put a comment because he's like, oh, our boy is on the media list now, our priority list. And I was like, yeah, we'll see what that means, with like the little smiley face with the little teardrop thing. And like the vice president, I think is what she is, of OnMore Mobility comes like, it does mean something. I specifically asked you to be put there. I'm like, oh, that's not what I meant. Like, I didn't mean to take that a bad way. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying I've never been on a priority media list before. Maybe it means something. I don't know.
Don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Apparently they watch my videos.
Absolutely.
Well, when I had talked to Peter the first time, he's the Peter Franklin, CEO of OnMore Mobility. He was like, yeah, I love your videos. And whatever companies say that, I don't take them seriously. It's just like every time I get an email, oh, we love your channel. We review this. You mean that product I already reviewed for you 3 months ago?
Hey, dear.
Huh?
Hey, dear.
Yeah, dear. Hello, dear. Yeah. So when companies say that, I take that as more of just like a fluffery. It's like just formalities. But then when they come back and comment on your video, it's like, apparently they do.
Yeah, like, whoops.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even mean it in a bad way, but I felt bad after that. And
it's funny because JLab, when I did them the review and on that dumpster fire set of earbuds that I said were terrible, they actually watched that video for once and thanked me for my opinion in my video in my comments. On YouTube, I was like, well, whatever, fine.
We'll see if they thank you with a subsequent review product.
Yeah.
That's always a good test, though. Yeah. Like, if you can say something like legitimately critical about a company's device and they still thank you for it and send you stuff, I mean, that's a really good like integrity check for those guys. Like, because I've said some bad things about companies before, and then they come back and they're like, all right, well, thanks for your feedback. We'll try and fix that, or blah, 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 blah. But, sometimes like if they don't stand by their product, I can see how they would take that as insulting. Mm-hmm. But if they like actually, appreciate your feedback and try to make themselves better, I mean, that's a really good sign for a good company.
Yes. I've had a couple of headphone companies do that with me where they've watched what I've had to say. I've even told them beforehand what I'm going to say, not so I can change it, just so it's critical feedback. And what company was it? It was the ones who did the Sony XM3 replicas. What were they called? It's gone out of my head. But they actually had
the Nebula?
Huh?
The Nebula or something like that, or
some crap holder.
They were the ones that you got that I didn't get, weren't they? Yeah. The ones where I had emailed
back just like the XM3, and they're built just like the XM3. They've even got an app, and just a lot cheaper. But when I said something about them, they actually had somebody from engineering reach out to me. I was shocked. It was like, "Hey, how can we make this better?" What?
Yeah, I don't know if you're joking, but they're not going to get more valuable. The problem with LG's phones, like, So like LG and Samsung's values are like two objects being dropped out of a plane at 30,000 feet. And one's a lawn dart and one's a rock. You know, the other, the LG is just faster at getting to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll and Samsung's getting just as bad. Like Samsung didn't used to be bad. Like you used to didn't really get anything with Samsung. They didn't start that till like the S8 or something like that. And I think that was just to make up for the explosive at Note 7.
Yep.
So back, I remember when the LG G6 came out, they were giving people like 40-inch TVs. It was 32 or 40-inch TV if you got one of them.
Samsung?
So no, LG. LG was.
Oh, Samsung did it as well.
Oh, well, yeah, it was like, I was like, wow, you get like a 40-inch TV with the LG, and LG makes decent TVs. So whenever they did that, yeah, that just started them down. Like they're like, oh, you can buy one get one free, or like they just have all these stupid things. So it's like as soon as the phone comes out, as soon as you walk out of the carrier door, it's already dropped like half price. It's terrible.
Yeah, I think it was the S8 actually. It may have been a Best Buy thing, but it was when Samsung had their own little store inside Best Buy.
I still have those.
Huh?
Mine still has a Samsung experience. Oh no! They tore mine down. Some of them do though.
Oh, they do it right. I know that they got rid of the one in mine. They have a Samsung section, but they don't.
Yeah, see, mine up until last year, like before they remodeled my Best Buy again, they had like these Samsung area, like they had the blue shirt Samsung people and stuff. Yeah. Some of the nice ones still do. Like some of the nice ones still do. You can take yours there to have like warranty work done on them.
Yeah. Well, they with the S8 when that was last in Best Buy were giving away 40, and it was 43-inch Samsung 1080p TVs.
Yeah.
With your S8.
Yeah, this right here, and that's the G8 and the G7 were such good phones, and like you can't even trade them in anywhere. Like I think Apple was offering like $75.
You could go to T-Mobile with your G8, and they'll trade you. They'll let you trade the G8 in, and they'll give you a Samsung S20 FE for $100.
Well, send me my stinking phone back.
I will.
I'll go trade it in.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like $100, or even free. I can't remember.
I completely forgot about it. I haven't looked, but hey, I mean that would be a good deal. I love the G8 though. The G8X came out more than a few months later. The G8 came out in like March, April timeframe. The G8X didn't come out like August. Huh?
Like 6-7 months later, right?
Yeah, I want to say the G8X came out around August, September timeframe.
It was a little. It was even though it was a successor, it was very.
They made some slight changes to it.
Yeah.
Like, not a whole lot. I think they gave it a little bit bigger battery, and they did a few things like I think more storage.
Yeah, it wasn't what people were hoping for. So
well, they thought that dual screen thing was going to make it all better.
Yeah, and it didn't. I need a G8 screen. Go on eBay. They're about $5.
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed the G8 though. I thought it was a really good phone.
Yeah, my favorite, and I've said this before, I know you weren't keen on it, but I loved the G6, the totally flat slab.
I liked it. I thought that it looked nice. The only problem was that finish was terrible. Like it picked up scratches like no other phone I've ever seen in my life.
I loved that one. I had the silver version. I
had a nice wide-angle camera on it. I mean, it really the G5 was such a piece of trash that the G6 was like a big improvement. They worked on the UI a little bit. The camera was better. It didn't like I had a G5, and I gotta say that's the absolute worst phone I've ever had in my life. It was so bad.
The G5 was terrible. That was the modular one, right? Where the
I had one, and it was crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what the G6 reminds me of? It reminds me of the iPhone today, the iPhone 12. The way they made the G6 was very similar. It was flat with sharp edges at the sides. It was just a slab. The G6.
What phone did you compare it to?
The iPhone 12.
Oh yeah,
same kind of form factor.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the Essential phone too because it had the flat sides.
Yeah, the Essential.
I really like that ceramic build. Like I guess
those, and they were nice. I gave one to my mom, and it was nice. She loved it.
I don't know if it's really expensive for them to make those ceramic cases or whatnot, but I like them. I mean, they're a little on the heavy side, but I like the way they look. I think they look nice.
Made them, didn't they? Was it the S20 See, oh, there's a Note 10. They made a ceramic version of the Note 10 and the S10.
That was a later edition, though. That wasn't a launch edition.
The 5G, the Note 10 5G was the later one, yeah. But they made a ceramic 512 gig version of the S10, I believe.
Yeah, suckers were crazy expensive.
Oh God, yeah, it was like $1,500.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we say that, but see, I mean, that's not anything special. And as much as like 5G is still a gimmicky to me, like over a year ago, paying that much money for just a Samsung S10 5G, it's like that phone was a monstrosity. Like not only was it huge, but it was heavy and it was thick too. It reminded me a lot like the V50, like the sucker's a brick.
Yep. And the only difference was other than the 5G and the ceramic back, it had a
different camera.
Yeah, it had a depth sensor on it.
Yeah.
That didn't matter.
No. Yeah, I would much rather pay $2,000 for a Fold than pay $1,500 for an S10 5G.
Yeah, and retailer tech, you're right. No one brings up the Velvet, but unfortunately, the Velvet was such a good phone.
So good.
When you look at the price point of it, even now, I mean, $599 on it without the screen, the double screen. It was such a well-built. That phone was built every bit as well as the S20. Every bit.
Solid phone. And nobody gave the Velvet much praise, but everybody's been all over the Pixel, saying the Pixel 5 is such a good phone. I think the Velvet's just as good, if not better, and it's $100 cheaper.
Yeah, the Velvet has a far superior build quality.
Far superior build quality and better video.
Yeah, and even the pictures.
And better audio.
Yeah, and the photos coming out of it were pretty damn good.
I mean, it was only a 60 hertz refresh rate, but I mean, still, I really, really enjoy the Velvet. I think it's a good phone.
You can pick Velvets up for $300 now.
I know, it's crazy. Well, I think LG was kind of lost with their marketing stuff this year. I mean, they're always lost with their marketing, but you remember when they came out and they launched them in South Korea and they didn't show up here till like 3 months later, and then they were an AT&T exclusive for like 2 months before they even. It's just they made them, I think, for the sake of making them, and I don't know if it's
a stopgap year for LG while they reset for this Explorer project stuff.
Yeah, I think that we're going to be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if LG has an announcement to make at CES. Like that would be. LG has to do something at CES because here's the thing. Samsung is launching so quickly after CES. Like if LG doesn't get out in front of them and say something at CES, everybody's going to be forgotten about them by time the S21 comes out.
Rainbow has got to be demoed at CES. Has to be.
Oh, it will be. I mean, even when I was at CES this year, TCL had some of the prototype stuff there. I mean, you couldn't play with it. They had some of the demos and the mock stuff. I mean, companies have been working around with these experimental folding and scroll technologies and whatever for like the last year or two. So I expect to see a new Razr. Like I expect to see a new Razr. I expect to see we're going to see the Z Flip 5G, 2 or for whatever they're going to call it. That I think is going to have an external screen on it.
Gotcha.
It has to. If it doesn't, then it's done. But I think Samsung knows that. I fully expect to see a TCL, some sort of foldable hybrid design. I expect to see something from LG. Like I think that January, normally January is really slow, but I think January is going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
Just because we don't have the normal CES stuff going on. And I'm really crossing my fingers and hoping that we hear something about the new BlackBerry at CES. Like that, I think that would be a big move.
That is the perfect platform for them to launch from CES because there's going to be so many eyes on it. So
the last one they showed off at CES, I want to say it was the Key 1. I think the Key 1 they showed off at CES. The Key 2 they did not. BlackBerry normally launches at Mobile World Congress, like in March. They normally release at Barcelona in March, not in January. So if we don't, I don't know if they're going to stick to that. There's a new company, Onward Mobility, that's bringing this one to the market. With the way things are going, I think that CES is a really ripe environment for a lot of these phones to get some publicity where normally they wait later.
Hell yeah. They've got to make up for last year because this year because this year's been the beginning of the year was a dumpster fire, as Samsung knows,
Yeah, I was really worried, and we talked about this at the beginning of the year with everything getting pushed back, and like we saw what happened to the S20 sales. They were terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was the phone's fault either. I think it was just the way that things were going in the world. So the Pixel got pushed back. Even the Nord got pushed back. I mean, there was a lot of phones that got pushed back, limited quantities available. And I think that's what happened with the Velvet too. They just didn't have enough in production to bring them out to the market. So the first 3 or 4 months of 2020, I was really worried about what was going to happen with the phones for the rest of the year. And then it's like phone, like all over the place. So 2020 actually turned out to be a really exciting year for phones.
Yeah, it did. It ended with a bang, really, and that's why I can see CES being huge. It's just a shame that it's virtual because
it is
so much stuff on show.
I'm not so much concerned regarding the product launches. What concerns me is the availability of these PR reps. So, like when I went to CES back in January, you can walk right up and talk to these people who have email addresses that don't ever email us.
Mm-hmm.
I made connections with probably 20 different companies while I was there that propelled me for the entire year. Like talking to the LG people, talking to the Panasonic people, had I not talked to the Panasonic rep there and met her in person, they would have never sent me that camcorder. They would have never sent me the camera. They would have never sent me the earbuds. There's a lot of companies that instead of trying to fish through the internet to try and find a PR contact and hope it's the right one, or, waiting to see if maybe they contact you one day, you can walk right up to them. They're sitting there at a booth, introduce yourself, give them your card, get their card, and then you've got their email, and you can establish a rapport with them while you're there. Like, hey, this is me. So that way, whenever I email you, you know who I am. And that goes a long way when you're doing business.
Yeah, absolutely. Face to face, you can put a memory to it. Otherwise, an email's an email. Just don't read it.
Yeah, you don't know if they got it. You don't know if they just don't care to read it. You don't know if it's a bad day. Like that's their job is to stand there for 4 days, talk to people and answer their questions. So I'm really hopeful. I mean, thank goodness this vaccine is already being like rolled out because that gives me hope for 2022.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it gives me hope for other events as well. Like, hey, if things are looking better in 6 months, maybe some of these things will still happen. I don't know. But it at least gives us a lot of hope going into 2021. So like looking at like getting back to at least mostly normal so we can, start attending these things again. It's really exciting because this year has been like a year lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has. It's just been.
Yeah, on so many levels. I mean, it's been terrible. But I think moving forward, it's really great. Going in the holiday season with, people are already starting to get vaccinated. So, I mean, going into 2021 and it continue to roll out, hopefully people can get their jobs back. Life can get back to, relative normal and, the economy and all that stuff can move on so that we get back to normal stuff. But here's the thing that I think is going to be good, though. I think that the access is going to be there. But the thing is now you're going to have 50 million people all sending emails to the same person. So then I fear that it's going to get lost in the shuffle, whereas maybe beforehand it kind of gets, you have a little bit more FaceTime and then, okay, 3 weeks I'm going to email you. When's a good time to talk to you? When should I follow up? Instead, you're just going to have like millions of people sending emails. And of course, the requirements are much lower now too to get in CES.
Yeah. 35,000 views.
Last year, wasn't it like 100 and something?
It was 50. And the year before that, it was 100 and something.
Well, the year before that, it wasn't views, it was subscribers. Actually, last year, remember, I got in with Mobile Nations. They're the ones that sponsored me in this last year. And then they changed it after I'd already registered to where people, because prior to that, you had to have like 100,000 subs to get in or something like that, or 50,000, or it was some high number.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even meet that requirement whenever I was registering last year. And then there was a bunch of people that were complaining. They're like, look, I've got this huge channel and I can't even get in.
Mm-hmm.
Then they lowered it a few weeks before CES, and then I didn't turn around and redo my registration, but that opened it up for a lot of people to get in who couldn't normally.
Yeah, well, this year it's 35,000 views a month.
Yeah, and that's great for a lot of smaller channels.
Look at me. I'm on 60 to 70,000 views a month, so that's great for me. No problem.
Yeah. So, well, that's the thing, though. Is I think that it's really going to increase the amount of traffic that is going to go to these people, though.
And you don't have to pay this time.
Yeah, if you're media or influencer or whatever, you don't have to pay. But if you charge people, though, and I understand it, especially in this digital CES world that we have for this year, you want all the publicity you can get. I mean, so you need people, like, why would you charge somebody that's going to give you free publicity? Like, the more the merrier. They don't care about the direct relationship between the manufacturer and us getting a review.
They want the CES to be successful.
Exactly. So you're going to have like an extra probably 20,000 people. I'm just throwing a number out there. Just an extra 20,000 people that are going to get in this year that weren't there previously. They're going to be really excited and really energized about their CES experience. So I think as far as driving publicity and traffic for CES, I think it's going to be the best year ever.
Now, do you think they'll stick with that threshold for next year if it becomes...
I don't know, but we can reevaluate this conversation, because I'll be like, they just did it for them and they didn't do it, to help out the little guys. They did it to increase their exposure. But they need money. They need all the money and all the exposure they can get, because this is not going to be on the same level as it has been previously.
No, not at all. It's going to be like Pepcom.
Yeah, it will be, except on a huge scale, and I hope better, because Pepcom...
I think it'll be a better made service.
They've been working on it for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, Pepcom's...
Online CS, well, yeah, it's going to have launches for sure. I mean, I've already got... I haven't gotten invitations yet, but I have the preliminary schedule for day one launch day, and it's called Media Day. So only the media can get in that day, no industry people or whatever. And so day one, basically from 8 in the morning till like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, like every hour to every 30 minutes, they have time slots. It's like Panasonic, LG, Bosch, Samsung, like Sony. All the big companies will have their big stuff. And then there will be like dedicated slots that day to where media people can meet with them. Because yes, there's different types of registration for people to get in. There's influencer media, or media is influencer, I guess, at a different level. Then they have industry and stuff like that, business people. So a lot of what's really big about CES is a lot of these companies come together from all over the world to do business. Like, it's one thing for like Dan and I to go in and like, ooh, I want to see the shiny new stuff and see if they'll send it to me to review. But people actually come there to do business. Like, CES is not for people who have YouTube channels to make video content. I mean, that helps be free publicity for these companies, but that's not what it's designed for. It's a trade show.
My friend does CES, and he does some kind of electronic, it's like a hammock. He does it every year. It's been on. He says it's full of small vendors like that trying to get business, trying to get their stuff out there. It's not what you think of just Samsung, LG, whoever,
No, so think of it this way. If you had like 20 Walmarts all built into one big building and it was partitioned off, and you have like one Walmart is for TVs, one Walmart is for robots, is for like drones, one Walmart is for art, like is for like PC gaming, and like one is for phones. Like, they have this stuff in different sections. It's funny because like the flagship area is like super nice. Like, you walk in, a nice comfortable carpet. And you know how they have, like, if you go and think of it like Best Buy, how it used to be, and there'd be like an Apple section, and there's like that's like a small modular world of what CES is like, except they'll be like walled off, huge displays. I mean, like, huge, like an entire wall that's a TV, or like the LG one was really cool. Like, you walked in and they had all the panels up on the ceiling with like the whale and everything. It was really cool. So, but it is going to save me about 16 miles a day of walking.
Yeah,
I was hurting bad, man. Like, I was in relatively decent enough shape last CES, and man, I was.
I am kind of glad that we're not going this year.
I'm so out of shape right now. I would die.
I've just become rounder and rounder and rounder. It's like,
yeah, if I were to have to go walk 16, 17 miles a day right now, I mean,
plus me on your back, because I'd give up after about 4.
Yeah, like like we're going to CES for 4 days, but we're just going to visit one vendor. Like, Monday is Samsung Day, Tuesday is LG Day.
Yeah, that'd be the way to do it.
2022 is gonna be fun though.
I think so. I think 2022 is going to be a massive change in design for iPhones and phones and things like that.
Yeah, it'll be super celebratory too, though, because it's going to be like a big. I think 2022 they'll make a huge like celebration event.
Yeah, it's going to be an event of some kind of normalcy, hopefully, unless 2021 just turns out to be a sequel.
I'll worry about that in 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, but yeah.
Just keep it to yourself.
I'm going to.
Yeah, CES. Well, not really. TCL just started making phones at CES, and that's why it looks that way. But I had a relationship with TCL for about a year prior to that because they had been sending me the BlackBerry mobile devices and also like the Alcatel couple phones that I got. So I'd actually been working with TCL for about a year prior to that. But that is when I got a chance to meet some of these guys in person, and then that's when right after that, it was delayed, of course. Huh?
Was Brad at CES?
Yeah, I met him in person there.
All right.
Yeah, Brad's cool.
Yeah, he is a cool guy.
Yeah, I met Brad and Colby there. Right. I met a lot of these PR guys there, and it's cool. Like when you go to CES, you get to meet with all the other reviewers because, like, I had talked with a couple of different guys before meeting there. Like, I'd talked to Zach, I'd talked to El Jefe, I'd talked to a couple other guys. So going there, like, I get to meet a whole bunch of other YouTubers. So that's one that's really fun, and you're all in the same place. It's like I went over there and I'm standing in line with Shannon with Snubs, and she was super helpful with me on the media day there and kind of showed me the ropes. And then she's friends with John Rettinger because they used to work together, and he shows up, and the next thing I know, I'm hanging out with those two guys for like 2 or 3 hours, and it's like it is really cool. And then other people that I got to meet there. So you get like once you get there, it's really exciting to meet all these other people. But then the other thing is these manufacturers you've been working with, it's really cool to get to meet them in person too, because it's like, hey, I've been working with you over email for the last year or two. And then finally you get to meet these people face to face. So you get really good at pitching what you want because you keep going like, I kid you not, it's like a flea market. You like one booth after booth after booth all next to each other. So you're like going there like, oh, here's my card. Let me talk. You spend so much time, and like by time like the last day, it's like, hey, do you care if I review that?
Yeah. Look, bro.
They're like, who are you? I'm like, I got a YouTube channel. Just do you want to work with me or not?
Look, do I look like I want to sell myself? Just go for it. Yes. Here's my link.
Yeah, I had a lot of successes this year because of that. Like that trip paid for itself. Like had I not gone out there, my channel would not be where it is now. And yeah, I mean, I paid a lot of money for it to go out there because I had to pay for the ticket, I paid for the hotel, I paid for everything. It was not cheap. But moving forward, it's paid off in dividends. So I mean, I can't say that everybody's going to go out there to California and have expression, go out the California way and have success, but it really is very helpful because it gets rid of all those barriers.
I'm looking forward to it, even though it's virtual this year. I'm looking forward to it. Next year, though, like you say, next year will be on. Let's say. Yeah.
So, would I take? She might would if we go out there next year. I mean, she would come out for a day or two because she really loves all the EV stuff. Yeah, it's crazy too because she's probably going to hit 500 subscribers tomorrow. I was telling her, we were sitting at dinner, and she's like, "Oh, I've only got 3 more to go." I'm like, "Must be nice." I remember when I started my YouTube channel, it took me like a year and like 80 videos to get 1,000 subscribers, and she's going to do it in like 3 months and 10 videos. But I mean, you and I had this conversation before. I told her, like, "Look, you're perfect. Just make the videos, and you'll get the views."
Yep, no disrespect, but hot redhead on an EV.
Yeah, I was like, I've been telling her for like a year. I told her like a year ago, I'm like, you need to start making videos. I was like, look, you can take over my channel. I'll write you the scripts. And you
just go for it. I said to my wife, because my wife's a bit voluptuous.
She's very blessed.
Yes, and I've said to her a few times, you just need to sit in front of the camera with the lowest cut top on you've got and just talk about a phone. And that will be fine. It'll be fine. Or even if I put you in the thumbnail with that low cut top on, we'll be fine.
Yeah, it's not even like a competing thing. Like I don't even care. I'm like, honey, just go do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she really enjoys it now. And like, I could never get her on Twitter. And she had made a comment on Twitter the other day. How about I unfriended her on Facebook because I Facebook divorced her a few years ago? Because she would never be on social media. And I'm like, I'm always taking pictures. We go out to the kids' recital. We go to the kid's birthday. I'm always taking pictures and like tag her and stuff, and like not even get on there and like or comment or like do anything with it. I'm like, you're making me look bad. Like, people ask me, how come she never, like, you tag her and stuff all the time? I'm like, I don't know, whatever. So I was like, one day I was like, I just Facebook divorced you. She can't call me back. But she loves Twitter now.
Yeah.
She's having such a field day on there.
I had that done.
Yeah, 33,000 subscribers since January. It's been crazy.
I had a gastric sleeve done in 2015. I was 360 pounds.
I didn't know that. I mean, I knew you were fat, but I didn't know that you had gastric sleeve.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've put some back on now.
Follow the diet?
Huh?
You just don't follow the diet?
I did, and then my daughter moved over here from England, and it was one of those where she wouldn't eat anything apart from pizza and McDonald's. And it kind of ruined it. I mean, I'm nowhere near as big as I was still. I'm still 100 pounds down. I'm not 90 pounds down, let's say, right now from what I was. But yeah, look, I will show you. Give me a minute. I know we're coming to the end of the show, but let me just show you this picture. You'll be shocked at how big this guy was. I am fat, but I'm not as fat as I used to be.
It's like, I am fat. I was not that fat.
I was really fat at one time, but yeah.
All right, let's see it, Shamu.
I'm trying to just let me get this phone rocking and rolling.
We're already in an hour. We've wasted these people's time enough already tonight.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Me. All right, let me go. Scroll back. Talk. You're good at doing that.
I'm waiting in suspense.
Oh, I might be a couple of minutes because I've got to go way back.
Okay. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. What I'm really excited about is the fact that I won't be working, so I have all the time in the world to make the stuff.
Yeah. And that's going to help you out anyway. You're not going to be as stressed or as tired or anything like that.
I'll tell you right now, David, I don't think it'll help me at all. If anything, they would probably be like, here, we want to give her products, and why do we want to talk to you? Go get a hair patch.
Almost there. I'm almost there.
I mean, honestly, though, by next year, she could probably get in on her own. I told her, I said, you're going to have 10,000 subscribers by next year. I said, you'll catch me in 2 years. If you make content consistently and continue to get better at it. I mean, I told her, I said, you'll be there. It'll only take a few years.
Yep. Okay. So this is, let me cut my dad out of it for now. It's kind of blurry because I'm zooming in, but
10 seconds later. And that's what you look like pre-surgery? Didn't you?
360 pounds.
Ugh. It's a good thing your family didn't take you to SeaWorld. They might not let you out of the park.
Shamu, I'm telling you.
What is my expectation for the next CES? Hopefully awesome things. I'm looking forward to a lot of I'm looking forward to phones. I'm looking forward to seeing all the prototype stuff. And I'm hopefully looking forward to making some more brand relationships so I can move even further. So that's one of the things. Like, I've pared down, like, I don't really review battery banks and like 50 different phone cases and like all this stuff anymore, just because I'm able to cover like more phones and more actual products. So I'm hoping to kind of narrow that a little bit further going into 2021, just so I can focus more on phone centric stuff, but also still cover some of the other stuff that I like as well. But not like 50 different things, maybe like 25 different things cover. Yeah. How tall are you, Dan?
5'9" after I broke my back.
Really?
Yeah. In 2008, I've lived the American dream, let me tell you. I fell off a ladder in back into 2007, came through a soffit and landed on the tailbone and cracked 3 vertebrae and exploded 3 of my discs out. So I had to have cages and a fusion done. So it brought me down by an inch. Men don't like losing an inch.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the start. When I first came to the United States, I was 175 pounds. Here you go. I look actually sick on here, but there's 175 pound down with his mum. Hold on. There's my mother. That was me leaving to come here in 2006.
That's the mom that thinks we look alike.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cracking me up.
Well, but that was the morning I was flying to the United States. Start my new life.
Bet you wouldn't be smiling if you went back then now.
What, to England?
Yeah. Like, Mom, I'm just going to stay here.
Oh, I hate England. So that's a whole nother story and not something we should talk about on here because I'd get in trouble.
Oh, let's create another channel. Whenever you start that roast channel.
I'm going to start that probably after Christmas. I'm going to get some ideas down. One of my videos, I'm just going to do it, is Farm and Tech's unboxing of his iPhone mini. And I am just going to... You copyright strike me, dude, and I will find you, and I will kick you in the nuts.
You heard it right here on live television.
There you go.
All right. Well, I guess we want to call it night because it's already 5 after an hour.
Yes. Yes, I'm going to go and finish off my editing, which well, you can't see it right now, but I have a video coming out tomorrow about the
flashlight?
The flashlight on the iPhone blinding you and giving me Stevie Wonder syndrome. No, I've got a video coming out on the iPhone 12 tomorrow. Mini. Oh, I'm blind. I've got a big dot in front of my eyes now.
Well, good luck with that.
Well, thanks.
Hey, I'm here for you.
The sincerity of it all.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for stopping by and hanging out with us tonight. We always appreciate you being here. I will definitely live stream at some point this weekend, maybe Friday night. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens.
But you won't have me on your show, so whatever. I said if it's any night other than Friday night, it's not happening because Canelo fights this weekend. So if it's Saturday night,
oh really?
No chance.
That'd be a good fight.
You want my login?
No, of course not.
Okay, I won't do that.
That's illegal, sir. I'm going to scold you after this video is over. Anyway, you'll have a great night the rest of your week. And I'm sure we'll be back next week as well. And, of course, next week is Christmas. It's the tail end of Hanukkah right now. Tis the season for the holiday. So whatever holiday you celebrate, enjoy it. Hopefully you can spend time with your loved ones, at least virtually. And y'all stay safe. Take care of each other.
Apart from you, Farm and Tech, apart from you, I hope your turkey tastes like it's been, I can't say it, but yeah. All right.
Sure. Whatever that means. We'll see y'all next week.
Laters.